Cougar Wink is out. And let me tell my good pals over
Oh,
Instagram.
I need to log on to my YouTube so I can join the chat.
Yeah, join it, join it, join
Oh
it.
no. Where is CQ the Watch Guy? We got to do
Are we
that. Like
live?
where's the Waldo CQ the Watch Guy? I don't
That'd be dope.
know. Yes, CQ the Watch Guy
I
is
feel like I could make
live.
that happen. All right, how do we make a?
Remember that dope drawing I had that made sorry, the dope chat GPT drawing that we made of you. We won't tell them what the prompt that we used for it. So
Wait,
funny that like remember the coin and we were like, yo, we gotta make a prompt and then like it made a dope photo and it was like, oh, that could be you because it was like a guy on the bridge on the beach with a drink. Yo, Thomas Burnett, how you doing,
hey,
man?
what's going on, Thomas?
Punters, who's punters? I know it's a punter. Punter. But yeah, winking. Cougars. Cougar wink.
Wait, what's going on?
I don't know, bro. All I know is you gotta find a better way to get this on Instagram.
Well, no, the labels are on Instagram are gone.
Oh, they're shadow banning you.
Oh, what? Okay. Well, I guess the people who know will just have to know. Hope everybody is well.
They saw you spamming all those auction results and they're like, never again. Never again. CQ spamming auction results to take people off the platform. We're not letting him get people on the YouTube. They're on to him.
All right, man. I don't know what's up with that. Anyways, hope everybody is having a great day. What's going on, Thomas Burnett? Today's a little bit of a freestyle day. You guys tell us what you want to talk about. And we are going to start with one of Jay's favorite brands. Look at that. We got fresh Tudor.
What's going on, Skylar Santana?
What's happening, Skylar? Yeah, I'm going to try this
This
Instagram thing
is
one more
not the
time.
worst tutor. It's not the worst. But who asked this?
Nobody asked for this.
Is this a Black Bay?
This is a Tudor Black Bay 54 Lagoon Blue.
What do the numbers stand for? Like the 54 and stuff like that. Like what's the
I don't know. I think it's supposed to pay tribute to certain years that
okay.
the original ones came out.
Wait, how long has
Okay.
Tudor been around? Not the house. We all know that Henry Tudor is the most influential king of all
Oh man,
time.
that's a good question. That's a good question. Wait,
This isn't
Instagram
a
is
pretty
working now.
watch. Oh God. All right. Anyways, this is my take on this watch.
Yep.
This is actually not the worst watch ever, but then I'm sure when you give us a side profile of the watch, it's gonna change my mind because you can probably mix a drink on the back of the watch.
I don't know if you can mix a whole drink on
Okay, it would be a light drink. Let's just say a gin and tonic.
it. Is a gin and tonic considered a light drink?
I mean, there's barely any calories besides the gin.
All right, we're live on YouTube, on Instagram, and YouTube, and everything.
I'm always down to talk about micro brands. I'm curious to know which micro brands you guys like the most, if any. We'll touch on that after we rip up this tutor first. No, but
Okay, wait.
definitely can talk about micro brands. But go ahead. What were you saying, CQ?
So the Black Bay 54 is 37 millimeters compared to the 58.
How
That's
big is
39
this?
millimeters. 37, a
So it
genteel
is a
37.
little bit unisex.
I'll be real though, I like this dial.
I do. I wish it was larger. 37, and the bezel, it's gonna come across as kind of ladies, in my opinion.
Yeah, so the only issue I have with the bezel, it's high polished, which means like
Yeah.
you give me a day and I will scratch it out. I
That
probably would buy this and have somebody sandblast that bezel, but this is
well,
actually a great picture.
it, I don't understand why you would have a high polished diver watch bezel. Like if you're taking this watch into the water, sand, like there's so many things. Like it divers are supposed to be made for like aquatic and water and
Wait,
seafarers.
maybe they did something like make it a tungsten bezel or something that would make me think that it wouldn't get scratched, but
Mm.
I don't think that's the case.
Thomas Burnett asked, are Tudor homaging the homagers here? It looks like the recent San Martin releases. What's San Martin? Forgive me. Do you know
Let's pull it
CQ?
up. Their watches.
Oh,
Watches.
ooh, homaging the homagers.
And this is the issue. This is the issue with Tudor is a lot of their watches are vintage inspired watches. So San Martin.
All watches are
Oh,
vintage inspired watches, Sequan, unless they're MBNF. Come on.
oh, this is true. This is a beautiful Tudor
Yo.
pink GMT.
Nah, nah, we're not gonna do that. Like, I see the connection. I see why. What do those watches go for? My God.
300, 499 retail down for 309.
But like the thing is, right? I'm sure when you have both of these watches in your hand, right? If you had the pinked out Tudor and you had this San Martin, I'm sure that you could feel the quality and difference. What's going on, Daraj? Nice dial color. I agree. I
Yeah,
do
what's
think
happening,
that
Raj?
if you held both of these watches in your hand, you could see that Tudor was the superior brand. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Yeah, I think so. I've never held these watches, but at this price point, most likely they're gonna feel
A little bit lighter,
a little bit, not as much as you probably think, but this is
lighter,
a
and
nice Tudor
then
Black Bay Chrono.
wouldn't you say also? Because I always remember when we worked for the company that started Chronify originally, and they were doing bezels, but the whole thing was paying attention to detail. And like the things that Rolex and Tudor do, there's no such thing as imperfections. Like the imperfections for vintage are what makes them valuable. But like contemporary watches, everything should be perfect. And like, would you make the argument that there may be some imperfections on the San Martin, or do you think that the quality would be the same?
The quality won't be the same, especially in terms of the movement and certain things like the machining of
Like the
the
case and
crowns, the
stuff, yeah.
pushers and stuff might not be tight. But I think you would be surprised in what some micro brands can offer at certain price points. Atelier Wen was a great example of a brand that came out where people were really confused on how they were able to do their hand engraved or
You doing Goldfinger? How you doing, Richard?
what's going on, gents.
But that's
People
an
were,
interesting point. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was saying that people were really confused on how they were able to produce their watches at such a you know inexpensive or lower price comparatively to like like a Jan Shapiro or something who's also doing hand churned. There's a lot of different confusions there because again, there's no baseline price, right? There's no baseline of like this is what a steel watch should cost. This is what an automatic titanium watch should cost. This is what hand engraving should cost. So it really gets confusing because like these pieces, you feel them. They feel so good. They look so good, and they're all under 5,000. I want to say it was like a $3,500 watch.
Well, that's different. We just compared a Tudor that's probably 4 or 5 grand to a watch that's $300. And
Yes,
Scatter
correct,
Santana
correct.
said, if I blindfolded you, and and you had three San Martins and one Tudor, I bet you wouldn't get it wrong. That you'd get it wrong. You probably get me, Skylar. I don't think you get CQ. And I further to say that like if all things remain the same, if all the same metals are being used and the same materials are being used, then yeah, I think that you're right. It's probably hard for you to discern the difference. But I feel like Tudor maybe using different quality of materials, maybe for the dial or the indices, maybe not the steel case, but the other aspects.
Yeah, I think so. I think the price range, but I'm sure there's a $1,000, 1250, $1,500 watch that feels pretty good compared to a tuner.
But that's closer to the price range, so I could
Correct,
believe
correct.
that. What's going on, Tan? Julius Caesar says, well, Tudor has a share, sorry, has had a share
Quality
quality.
control.
Okay, okay. Well,
Bezel numbers falling off, indices
that's
misaligned.
crazy. What's going on, Tan? That's for Michael Brands. Thomas Burnett said, I really like Unimatic, Sterica, Bear, Notice, Jack Mason, and a host of others. I haven't heard of any of those, man.
Yeah, I'm about to pull up. I think I heard Unamatic before.
Notice? That sounds familiar.
So wait, okay, first before we leave the
Yeah.
Tudor, what's our thumbs up, or do we send
What's the
thumbs up or
retail?
thumbs
What's the
down?
retail? What's the retail?
Oh, come on, don't Jay. We don't. You're not
You can
supposed
give it
to
to us in
ask.
Swiss francs. It's fine. We
You're not
we
supposed
figured
to
out how to
ask.
convert it in our heads now.
Wait, my thing.
Uh-oh.
The tech is against me. All right, let's go.
No. What is
All right,
it? How many
let's
Swiss
see.
francs?
Let's see.
How many baskets of fries will it cost? Oh,
4,350. Not crazy.
it's not
But
the
it is a
worst.
37.
If
is
it
a
was
37
39
millimeter.
millimeters, is a thumbs up. Right now for me, it's like a, I can't give it the down because I like the dial, but it's too small.
If they gave me a 40, I think a 39. I understand 39s. You guys are having a little moment. So if they gave me a 39, but look at the bezel. First of all, like already there's fingerprints on this poor demo model, and you could see the scratches are coming.
Oh
So
no,
like
you
I just
can't take
think,
this watch to the beach. Like you put your hand in the sand and it comes out a different watch.
put your hand in the sand. What are you doing? I do that just to get that full matte finish kind of going.
So hold on, you're telling me you've never put your hand in the sand when you're in the beach?
Not with a high polish thing like this.
So when you're Sequan, how do you get off of your ass on the beach? Don't you have to use your hands? I'm not saying to stick your. I'm just
Well, no,
saying.
I'm just saying, like with a watch like this, because of that high polished bezel, I would not take it to the.
Okay, so
to
now
the
you're telling
beach.
me I got to be conscious of wearing the diver watch.
Listen. I know you're retired, Jay. I know you're
I'm
retired,
out.
right?
I'm out. I'm out.
I know
You
you're
told me
retired.
I got to think about wearing a diver watch that costs $4,000 to the beach. Like I can't bring the diver watch that costs
You
$4,000
see,
to the beach.
listen, you're looking at the same mirror finishing that I'm looking at. You and I both know what happens to watches like this if you put a pillow on it, a cotton swab will scratch this.
It's a down,
So,
then. It's a down.
all
What's
right,
going
all
on,
right.
Pack Eldridge? We're giving this one a thumbs down. You can't wear it to the beach because it'll get scratched. It'll get sandblasted. No puns intended.
All right, let us pull up.
We lost like five people just by my terrible joke. I'm sorry, guys.
No, man, it's all right.
I'm so sorry.
You
Oh
wanna talk
my
about-
God.
I don't know why I pulled
So,
this.
yo,
I'm gonna go to the micro brands.
this
I'm
is
sorry. I'm
real.
sorry.
That's real.
This
Little bitty
is
Blancpain. Oh my goodness.
yeah. Wait, is this a new? This is a Blancpain?
What did you?
Oh my God! I thought this was just a swatch.
No. I was looking for that. I was like, "Where's the Blancpain swap?"
Oh no!
No, this is a full-fledged Blancpain, fully blooded.
Oh wow!
The rod said beach, gym, swimming, Breitling for the win.
Yep. He's right.
That
He's
Super
right.
Ocean looked like it had a high polished bezel, though. I'm just saying. The Super Ocean we looked at yesterday looked like it had a high polished bezel. So if we're gonna talk shit about high
No,
polished
no,
bezel.
but that's ceramic. That was ceramic, brother.
Oh.
See that good ceramic. That good ceramic. It's wet. It looks wet. You know?
Whoa, jeez. Okay.
Well, no, Omega used to call it liquid metal. That's all I'll say. This is insane. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna start reading the articles before
Yo,
I
that's
bring
so
them up
funny, bro.
because I swore this was a Blancpain swatch collaboration.
Tan is like, this is a real 50 Fathoms.
Yes, it is a real 50 fathoms. You will definitely be able to see whatever you need to see. Why does this watch exist? Why? What is going on?
Because there was never a Blancpain, his and hers, so they had to do this. They like it's now you cannot leave the Blancpain store without getting your wife a watch.
I mean, the Rose Gold Mother Pro. This actually looks pretty dope. This I can get with. This kind of like
That looks like every
That-
other
that works.
Blancpain. You're not doing anything for me. Go back to the pink one, dude. Be your man, and let's talk about the pink watch.
bruh. I feel like I'm about to have an episode. Like I didn't. Why does this exist? Listen,
So hear me out. If
You
they
go.
put rubies on the indices, and then they put diamonds on the lugs. This watch. This is the mall. Where's the mall? The mall. This watch gets you laid in Miami. Tell me I'm lying, bro. You come out there and it's like diamonds. And it's just like, yo, I ain't afraid to wear pink. Y'all remember
Oh my
Cameron
god.
brought pink out in 2000? Come on, man.
You thi- Man, Cameron ain't wearing this watch.
Tam's like he has to sell his now.
Don't sell, man. Be part of the journey. What's going on, Durab? How are you doing today?
So it's 18,500 on the fabric strap. I just listen. I love that there's mother of pearl. I I I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore.
Hey man, we were just talking about how they kind of don't do like they don't really push. Like Blancpain hasn't really pushed the limits, so this is them taking that push, man.
But no, I mean, like really, honestly, like we're at the point where certain brands have just lost the plot. Cause like, of course, they sell a few of these, but I think you're right. I think if you said, "Hey, we're gonna make the indices rubies, we're gonna put some diamonds on there, we're gonna figure out a way that this is like the most chic ladies diver that's ever produced," but when you put something up that I sincerely saw and I thought this was a Blancpain Swatch collaboration, and I was excited because I was like, "Oh man, they put mother of pearl in a Blancpain Swatch. It's pretty dope." And to tell me that this is a full watch that you're gonna expect somebody to wholeheartedly with a serious face sell for like in the twenties of $1,000, like I don't know. The gray piece in red gold costs
Tan
26,100.
says no. So go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say the red gold piece costs between 26,100 and 29,000 Swiss franc, and the titanium is 18,200 on the bracelet. Yeah.
I like the rules. Tan said, I think Jacques Cousteau would not wear this pink one. Durad
No.
says, Pink Blancpain, what the hell? The person that bid up there's a Sotheby's is crying right now. Goldfinger said 20 watching. Upvote. Bing, 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 bing. Thank you all for the
Upvote.
upvotes and likes. Skylar Santana said, I'm all for the big brands experimenting with fun styles, but this might not be, but this might be a bit much. Now, I want to say this. I am joking when
Defend
I
it.
say I am somewhat joking when I say that this is a watch that gets you laid. But I will say this. I will say this. You, first, they laugh. And then they congratulate you, and that's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say that. A year from today, let's see. I don't hate this. It's just different. It's just something that they've never done before. So of course we're like, what the? You know what I'm saying? Don't hate this watch. Don't be surprised if it goes for over retail. Don't be surprised.
Wow. Now you're sounding like me, so now I'm worried. I'm worried because this is. I gotta take this off the screen. We're losing viewers by the
The
second.
thing
Thank
with
you
the
so much.
NATO, the thing with
I
the
like
NATO,
this.
the NATO does make it look like a toy watch. It has to be on the bracelet. If it's on the NATO, it's not a good look. But on the bracelet, it's not that bad. Put it on a leather strap. You find a nice tan or ooh, actually it has to be on the bracelet. It has to be.
No, that like literally like on a bracelet, it's somewhat reasonable, and it's maybe this shade of pink. Maybe if they did like a coral
I feel like
or something like
in
that. I
person
could
it's
have
gonna
worked
look
with it.
better, man. Like I think
For sure,
going back
for
like to
sure.
what we say, we got to see it on the wrist. I think that
I
we're
think in
not
person,
giving
this
it.
rose gold one, I love, to be
Like, there's
honest
no
with you.
argument here. Like that, I think that the rose gold one is what they should have done, and they went and took a step further with the pink. They were like, let's see if we can get this guy. You know, and it's like, let's give it a year. Let's give it a year.
Oh, I wanted to see if
But Thomas Burnett was like, topic suggestion: which watches do you dislike and why?
ooh, I like that. Let's do a few of your lower end brands while we think about it.
What was the size
Which
on those, by the way, CQ?
the
On
50
the
fathoms?
yeah, the 50 fathoms. Tan was asking, what is the size?
Let's see. Oh my gosh, come on.
It sucks when like you can't just find
38,
that.
38 millimeters.
It's on the smaller side.
I think more people wear this than we realize,
No, no, for sure. And to be honest with you,
right?
being 38 millimeters actually makes it more wearable for more people. If it was a 42, 43, I think now you're not marketing towards, like 43 millimeters would be a larger watch. I don't see larger men wearing that. Whereas 38 is a sweet spot where you can find a lot of different people to wear it. So it's not that bad. What are we looking at now?
So these are unimatic watches, which were suggested by I think
Hmm.
Thomas Burnett, some micro brands that he likes, and I think listen for 525.
You know what's so
You know,
interesting? You're so used to seeing with like high-end big brands, the logo being at the top. So seeing the logo being at the bottom is very different to me. And it's not, I don't dislike it, to be honest. It makes the dial a little more open.
yeah, like oh wow, I never really thought about that. But why do we
And
need the?
I
Go ahead.
love thick, so I ain't gotta be careful, brother.
But I do like the bounce of the logo down there. And these are fun watches. Like for the price point, like why not have some fun, take a shot? I'm sure
I don't know if I
they're
love the
decent.
one with the two step dials because it feels like it's a little squished on the, I guess that's the date wheel. It feels a little bit squished. Oh, never mind, never mind. It's not a date wheel. That's the seconds, I'm guessing.
All right, let's do another brand that he was talking about, Celica. I never heard of these guys.
Bezel on those are pretty cool too. Like they're just very just black. I'm guessing they
Yeah,
rotate. The one that has the plot at the top.
yeah, I believe so. All right,
Unidirectional.
Celica diving chronometers. It's funny, the micro brands actually have watches websites where you can see their watches. Oh,
Oh, I
did I speak
mean,
too
I was
fast?
about to say,
I
not
spoke too
before you get to
fast.
watch this guy scuba dive.
Oh, I rock with this.
Diraj says, Unimatics, a fantastic effort to get young collectors started. What price point are we looking at? 25, 28?
For the Unimatics, I think they start like around dollars, maybe like 800, $900, maybe a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
But I think what he said is a great point. We have to get the younger generation in there. And I think putting a nice watch on them, like a Tissot PRX, a really funky micro brand, a Christopher Ward, if you want to go up a little bit more, even something like a vintage Breitling, getting them used to watches, getting them used to having
Yeah.
things on the wrist is great. You never know. Maybe they never ever buy another watch, or you give them the same addiction that we all have. That's why we're watch YouTube in the middle of the day. Thank you guys so much, by the way.
Well, you never know. You can always send them to watch the Chrono 24 ads so they can, see where they fit in life.
Oh yeah, well, should I play it real quick?
Oh God.
No, I won't. I won't.
No. I'm
It's
done.
always there. They're always watching you, the Chrono 24. I like Sarika though. My first time seeing them, but I like, for me, like if you do just a little bit of extra design, extra effort on your cases, it goes so long. It goes such a long way. Just a really nice, fresh look at lugs here. Another watch that's not putting a bunch of branding all over, just letting the watch speak. And for what's the price?
Not that
2200.
bad.
Not bad, not bad.
Like that's a question to me, like, because this is what I care about. Once you buy this watch, you got to kind of understand that, like, you have to find somebody else on a forum who wants it, right? Like, this is not something you can go to a major dealer and be like, hey, I want to trade this in. Because what do you get it? 250, 500? Because is it really resellable? Not no disrespect to the brand. I'm just asking, like, a
No, no.
value
So
proposition wise.
no, so it's a good point, right? But what's happening is we are seeing like, especially like in Reddit and a lot of WhatsApp spaces where these watches are finding places to be traded, and there are. I was actually speaking with somebody earlier about this. These marketplaces are forming, and it's just it's hard to just find like somebody's going to help verify it to make sure no scams going on. But people are finding a way to trade these watches. And right now, if somebody out there who really just has the time and effort to just deal with these type of watches, you would eat right now because the brands are just going to keep producing watches. It's the same thing with all the major brands on the secondary market. For years, they ignored the secondary market. But it's like if every year you're producing millions and millions of watches, somebody's gonna want to sell a watch. Somebody's gonna want to trade a watch. No collector exists. Well, very little collectors exist who just buy every single thing every year and keep doing it. Like it just doesn't. I never sell. Like it happens, but it's very, very seldom that happens. Oh wait, your audio. I think your audio is gone, Jay.
I'm sorry. So Daraj
Okay.
has said that this is a great effort to get young collectors started, but nothing worse than getting started with a watch that you can't trade. You know, like being stuck with it, like 4 years down the line, you're not ready for your first Omega or maybe your first date just, and you can't get the value out of the first watch that you purchased. Kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. So it's good to hear that there are these places that people can kind of go and find some value for their first ever watch. Rich Buddy said, I don't like inexpensive watches because when it comes time to service, you still have to pay big bucks. I don't know if that's the case, but that probably is the case. If it's not some kind of movement that has you the normal, the Stelita parts. I don't know. You probably could speak more to that than me, CQ. Bezel 24 says this 38 millimeter comes with the 1150 movement. Even though it looks like a downgrade, this exact movement was used by AP Vacheron and Breguet. The finish is better than AP Offshore Diver. This is a like paddock quality. That's
What?
Bezel. Do you work for these guys?
Bezel. Oh
Bezel.
wow! Hey, Bezel came with the facts today.
Bezel's like
Hey, I love it. Oh wow! I love
Julius
this watch.
Caesar says, I own a couple of Jack Masons, the Canton and Ellium. Love wearing them in my rotation with the higher end brands. Okay. Rich Buddy says, example, I'm taking in my 2000 ball watch for its second service on a Value 7750. Not cheap. Well, Rich Buddy, I'll tell you something about ball watches. I used to sell those what were those, the ball engineers with the gas loom?
The tritium gas. Yeah.
God forbid the tritium gas stop working. Oh my God,
Oh, no.
we had to go to Chernobyl just to find out what gas they use to light the watch. So I'm sorry, sir. Ball is a tough brand. Like the watches, but God forbid you get the gas tritium. Um, sorry.
Oh man. But he does bring up a very good point though in terms of servicing costs. While a watch may be inexpensive, that doesn't mean the servicing won't be. If it's a quality movement, like a Value 7750 movement, which is a common movement, a lot of people can't service it. Watchmakers are still going to charge you the same amount to service that watch. They don't care what you paid for the watch. And that's something a lot of people do not like to talk about. But if it's
I'm sorry,
mechanical,
Bezel.
it's going to cost you money, you know?
I was just joking, Bezel. I was just completely joking. I make jokes here. I don't think that you work for
See,
Brett.
on the day that we have 30 people watching, your
I'm crashing out. I'm so sorry.
His first time chatting with us. Thank you for coming, Bezos24.
Bezel.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I apologize for Retired Guy J. I
My
apologize.
views do not reflect CQ and
Jeez.
Gottlieb and Co.
You know what
Talha
I'm saying?
says, always start with the Casio. And I did. That was one of my first watches. It was a Casio. Skylar Santana said, Michael Branch trade and sell watches between enthusiasts. Usually, is he saying that they trade close to value between enthusiasts? I think.
Exactly, because
Okay.
usually enthusiasts aren't really trying to make profit. They're just trying to, I paid $17.41 for this. I wear it for a little bit. Can I get $1,400, $1,500 for it, buddy? That type of thing. Nobody's gonna, hey, I need to buy it at, a dealer. I'm gonna buy this at $800. I might got, it turns into a whole different thing. So micro brands kind of they stay within their communities, but they do trade very, very well. I like this watch.
It's a
Thank
pretty
you for
nice
showing me these
piece.
watches, guy. I like this.
Julius Caesar said most inexpensive watches have common movements like Etta Salida, LJP, and Toyota, so it shouldn't be expensive. It seems tough. It seems like it could go either way.
So listen, they're not expensive now, but there's less and less watchmakers out there. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes in terms of repair centers, how people are being trained, things like that. In the next 5 to 10 years, if there's one thing, right? There's a lot of people here. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. 34 people, you guys are amazing. If there's one thing you could take away from me, if you live somewhere where you have a local watchmaker, maybe you reach out to Bezos24.
Yeah, Bezel is a watchmaker. Thank you, Bezel.
Bezos24 is a
Thank
watchmaker.
You. Thank you, Bezel, for your work.
But get friendly with a local watchmaker. Start buying them coffee. Start buying things for your kids. Because in 5 to 10 years, if things don't change, watchmakers will have you by the nutsack.
Oh, so you're saying watchmakers are like plumbers? Like we're getting less and less
Yep.
of them every year?
Exactly.
Oh,
It's the
wow.
same situation. And
Wait.
guess what?
Hold on. Bezel was talking about the Blancpains. I'll have you know he said that that Blancpain was paddock level. Go back to what you were saying. Just go back to what you were saying.
Okay,
Bezel
all
was on
right.
my
I had a
side.
feeling he was talking about the Blancpains too. We're a little bit delayed. I think I put a extra delay on the thing, so we're a little. 'Cause I was like, really, these circle watches are. They're finished. Wait, but you're a watchmaker, bezels. But so now it makes a little it makes a little bit more sense what he's talking about. But it's just like the plumber situation, and just like right now, if you know, if something goes wrong with my plumbing, I gotta pay whatever the plumber is gonna quote me for.
Oh, yeah.
And you're gonna get into that situation with watches super soon. If you look around, the watchmaking schools in the U.S., they're shutting down or they're lowering the type of services they're giving. Most watchmaking schools, they're already connected with a brand, so these guys are just getting scooped up by brands, and even the brands themselves are like, we do not have enough people, but they're just producing more and more watches. They're training technicians versus full watchmakers.
Watch
It's a whole different
engineers,
thing.
not watchmakers. Skylar Santana said most micros also use the self. Sorry, use on the self. So I would rather a watchmaker just swap for a new rather than do a full service. Should that be
Yeah.
cheaper?
Yeah, so there's a lot of brands who do that. They use like integrated systems where either they might just pop out the movement, give you a fresh one, or somebody like Moser, which is high end, but they make their escapements in a way where when they come in, they just toss in a new escapement. So there are many brands who are doing that same thing where like they just put in a fresh movement. They're not even it's not even worth the man hours to service that watch.
Ed Bear did not like the watch that we put up that was $350. He's just like he did not like it. Julius Caesar said, "You might be right, but there is an added premium for in-house movement services versus the common movements." Yeah, you're right. And Diraj, I'm not
Correct.
kidding. Chernobyl, like straight to Russia for that gas.
Okay.
Rich Buddy said, "I'll let you know what I paid. Right now, I have a Value 7750 in service, circa 1956 Universal Geneve manual line." Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, so they're gonna
And
you're
like
gonna
he
pay.
said, like CQ said, and Rich Buddy pretty much confirmed it. My watch repair guy is not taking new customers. If you want to
Yeah,
make money, become a watchmaker. That's all. Like,
yeah.
hit up Bezel 24, figure out how he became a watchmaker. I apologize once again, Bezel, because you're doing the Lord's work. Watchmakers are needed. We need more watchmakers. I'll
It's
be
a
right
thing.
back.
A lot of people are not thinking about it, you know. And like Rich Buddy said, his watch repair guy is not taking any more customers. A lot of people are closing their books because at the end of the day, if you're just a 1-2 person operation, even if you're a 3-4 person operation, it's there's only enough hours in a day. There's only enough man hours you can give on certain pieces, and when the book is full, the book is full. So you got to really, it's something to pay attention to, especially if you're dealing with vintage watches. You're dealing with watches that aren't part of brands that have really robust repair systems. In 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a little bit of an issue for sure, a big issue, not a little one. I like these Jack Mason watches. Never held them in person, but from the pictures, they look really good. 1069 retail. I think they have two different types of bracelets, but I like this kind of root bear bezel. I would buy this watch. I think a lot of people in the chat enjoy it as well. Jack Mason, never heard of him, but I'll rock 'em. I think there's a lot of great micro brands out there to support, and it's just about the flavor you like. But these, I definitely want to get these in person because these actually look pretty interesting. All right, let's see
What's
what
the price
else.
point on those?
Maxing out at 1,400. I think you get into one for 800 on the leather strap, and then it looks like 1,069 to get into their GMT on a bracelet, which I think is a pretty solid price point.
Nice pieces, especially with the price.
Yeah, great suggestions there, Thomas. All right, let's keep it moving. Oh, we got some Sotheby's stuff, but I think there's a new MBNF and a new Constantin Chaykin. Let Jay, the retired guy, give his thoughts. Will he buy or will he not buy? Here we have the funky groove of the new MBNF HM8 Mark II in purple. This is their driver's watch that I think they're doing in a nice purple ceramic. Will you be buying one of these so you can get in your purple Porsche? or Lamborghini. I think if it's purple, it has to be a Lambo, right?
These are cool. I like these more than like the one that his child drew the sketch for. But yeah, I mean, like this is it's just also don't really like the way you tell time on these. So it's like you got to look at the sign. It's like
Yeah, it's like this.
so.
But mind if you're driving, then it's easy. But if you're not driving, it's weird.
No,
If you're
I get
driving,
that.
it
No,
makes
if you're
sense.
driving long distances, which I don't, I like the watch. I wouldn't buy it because I don't like the complication. I just don't like the way you tell the time on it. But it's a nice watch. It looks nice. It looks nice.
88,000 US dollars.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's how many is he gonna make? Like 50, 100? He's usually limited.
33, 33.
See, so like I guess you could make the argument that there's only 32 other people with it. It's not a bad watch. I just don't like the way you tell the time on it. That you know what I'm saying? That's the most I can say. Like I like it. I just you'd be wearing a bracelet. For me, it'd be a bracelet, a cool purple bracelet. Bezel 24 says Monta is also an excellent Michael brand. Wish you all the best. Hope at least you guys won't join those seller communities like pushing five brands. No, 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 no.
No.
Not while I'm around.
Oh,
Don't
man.
worry about that, Bezos 24. Hope you come back in 5 months and realize that won't be the case.
Yeah, yeah. If it's one thing, I think all the new people
thank you for
who
stopping
joined
by.
in here. Thank you for stopping in Bezos. But it's one thing. How I make money is CQTheWatchGuy.com. If you need truly independent watch advice, reach here. I'm a broker, advisor, all the great things. You'll never see us like if you see me. To take OC's word, spooking a brand, it'd be a brand that we really support, or there's some type of official like sponsorship relationship. But we're definitely not gonna be talking about the same 3 or 4 brands all of a sudden every episode, something like that. It's just, as you guys can see, I like all watches. I like various price points. So yeah, not that
if
type
you
of
see
channel.
CQ pushing 5 watches all the time,
I'm
check for
paid
the
very well.
Well, no, check for the most cool. Like more than likely, he'll be blinking messages. So just
Exactly.
pay attention. There'll be
Exactly.
signs. There'll be signs.
Yeah, like that. All right, so we got 2 new wrist monsters. The Constantin Chaykin Joker Iron Mask and Golden Mask.
I like these. I probably won't like the price. Like I like them. I like because the thing about Chaikin is that he makes watches that like really have character. Like literally, they look like faces, and
They
I
do have
really
character.
no, I really enjoy them. But then it goes back to like, do you, what are you more into, like telling time or art on the wrist? And like if you're more of a steward of art and craftsmanship and just all that jazz, this is for you. This is not, in my opinion, for somebody who wants to tell the time easily. Even though you can, it's not as illegible as most skeleton dials because he kind of sections it off better. How much is it? 80K, 70K?
Is I guess
No,
80K 7? What you guess?
it's 100. It's over 100K. It's over 100K. What is it a perpetual or is it just annual? What is it?
I think it's just a day of the week.
Oh, it's just day of the week.
Yeah.
Right. 80K. 80K.
80K?
Yeah.
All right. Dun, dun, dun. We go to the bottom. Jay says 80K. Oh, wow. 40,800 Swiss francs. So that's well under 80K US dollars.
That might be a lot.
One might say affordable.
Diraj says, guys, these are not inexpensive old Breitlings or comparable. I'm biased. Cold Ocean was my first way. Oh, hey, Breitlings had their time, man. They still have some very nice pieces. John D, what's going on? Welcome to the
What's
chat.
happening, John D?
Thomas Burnett said, "Oh, I love Constant Chaykin's watches. I've met him a couple times at the AHCI shows in Geneva. As Jay says, the Joker watches have real character and are for the quirky watch lovers. Yes, like me. If I could afford one, I'd probably get one at 48K, or it's probably like 52.
Yeah, actually, I love the price point on this. See, now it makes me interested in like, why is this? Because okay, it's not the most complicated watch in the world. He's done this movement before.
It looks like it,
But exactly, I feel like other brands would charge you 100 for this, $90,000.
oh yeah, oh yeah. If this was an MBNF,
You know?
it would be $150,000. It also would have a domed crystal that you could literally hit on your chin every time you check to look at the time. Oh, I'm sorry. I still love MBNFs. It's just he loves those dumb crystals. Sometimes.
So do you go for the gold mask? Cause this is a hard one. I think I like the gold mask.
I actually prefer the non-gold. I feel
Really?
like why I have a gold mask in a stainless steel case, I just don't really get that to me. Like why it would have probably been nicer if it was gold, like gold on gold. I get that there's a contrast and sometimes that's preferred. I kind of like the steel on steel, personally.
A gold on gold, I think, would be very nice as well too, though.
Is the
I think
bezel
you're
the bezel
accurate
doesn't
there.
rotate, right? No.
No. It's a fixed bezel.
I, I
Good
like
job.
this.
Good
This is
job.
actually like the best watch we've looked at this week.
Yeah. Look at that, Constantin Chaykin saving us. Let's see. Is there anything new besides that we talked about?
Thomas Burnett said he uses base movements in these watches. That's why the prices are lower. Oh, okay.
Okay. Makes sense. And he's smart to do that. I don't understand. Like, why would you do a fully in-house movement to make this $100,000? I don't know. Just make a funky watch that people like.
And then let them pay for what they get, which is the cool looking dial that's skeletonized. I don't care that it's easy.
Listen, if Thomas Bernard didn't say it, I'm sure in my head I was like, there has to be a reason it's cheaper. So I was figuring to use some type of base movement, but who cares at this point? Look at what he did with them.
It looks amazing. Rich Buddy asked, "What do they resell on this brand?" I don't think that they resell crazy. That's the thing. Like they,
I don't think they're the worst. First, look at these beautiful cold oceans. These are great watches. But the Chaykins, I think they hold fairly decent. If I remember right. Yeah, look, 40,000 for the minions. Yeah, I don't think people give them away, but they're definitely very.
he's
For
done
a
so many
particular type of
iterations,
buyer.
right? When you say that, like there's a lot of different iterations, so there's some saturation in that style of watch. Like, am I wrong in saying that? Like in the monster, like what is this called again? Like because he does regular styles as well. Like,
Yeah,
more
these are like the wrist monsters, and,
Wrist
the one that
monsters.
everybody's trying to sell is a minion. Like this one, nobody wanted. Like there's so many of them.
Well, the minion, they're all priced too high. Like I get that they probably had a high retail, but this is like a 29K watch, in my opinion. So for you to think that you could get 40K out of this is a little.
Even these used to be lower, the Halloween ones. I see there's not too many on the market either.
The Day of the Dead one is really cool. If that's what that is, the one at the bottom left, or like it's kind of like a the kind of looks like the Day of the Dead Mexican style.
Oh, the Jocular? Wait, this
Is
one?
that wait, no, go down a little bit more. I feel like it was at the bottom. Yeah, all the way at the bottom in the bottom left. Yeah, that one is really cool. Like that's so different. But I think that
Yes.
the one that we looked at today is one of their better one of their better Joker watches. Thank you, Thomas. He also was like, "It's the Joker watch." Um, they hold their
these are
value
awesome.
better than Tudor. No, I'm just joking. Tudor holds their value. That was
Do they?
unnecessary. You're right. I haven't sold a Tudor in a while, so who knows?
It ain't 2 years ago, Jay. It ain't 2 years ago. All right. Let's see. We got about 15 minutes left. Let's look at how some of these watches at the Sotheby's auction that is wrapping up on the 17th of
You know
June.
that mad. Is that a mad one or is it mad two? What is that?
This is a mad one. This is OG. $3,500 with 31 bits. So this is probably inching its way up. The Comex suit stands at 3,500. That's interesting. It's a nice little vintage 6263. The 2499 400,000 with one bid. The reserve has been met.
Oh, these are online auctions. Like they're just.
Exactly. So it's gonna stay open until the 17th of June, and then every like 10 minutes or whatever, every lot will start closing. So all these bids that we're seeing now will slowly, start to go up. So nice brigades in here. Let's see
It
if
probably
there's
gets a
anything-
little hairy as you get closer to the.
Exactly. On that last day, you'll see everything just start to jump Because nobody wants to go in now
Yeah.
and pay up too high,
Well,
right?
they show their hand too early. Let the people who want to be there be there. This is the reverse IWJG, I guess.
Exactly. So that's what you're seeing, like a Batman's here at 10,000 for sure. On the last day, it'll pop up. Uh, Titanhawk DLC at 30 grand. Oof, I'm just not,
That
what's
OG
going on?
freak ain't doing too well, huh?
No,
Is it an OG? Yeah, no
18,000.
crowd.
It's OG. Yeah.
But Mala asked, anything to worry about on the watch conditions at these auctions?
So that's a great point. So pieces like this Debitune that's DLC coded, you always want to go in, you want to zoom, because most of these auction houses will give you really nice high definition pictures. You just gotta zoom in. So for somebody like me, if like one of my clients hits me up, I'm like, hey, I like this watch. Can you look it over? I'm just looking really closely, and you see like all these little black marks. Most of the time, those are just fingerprint marks, but sometimes those are little micro scratches. And certain times, like they might not be visible in these pictures, but when you're wearing them, they're very, very visible. A lot of times you'll see fading on the edges as well. So something like this looks really good to me, and this would be something that I'd clear one of my clients to bid. But a lot of times I think people don't use these pictures as they should. But these pictures are super detailed. They're better than most, normal watch sales dealer pictures. So you can really get in there and see the condition. And you really should do that because these auction houses are not watchmaking repair centers. They're not there to protect you from having to pay an expensive service. That's why some of these brands like Grupo 4C will often include a service when one of their pieces are being offered at auction, because they want to just take away that feeling from somebody like, hey, I'm about to pay $300,000-$400,000 for a watch that immediately will need to go for a $10,000-$15,000 service, and I lose my watch for maybe a year, depending on the type of watch. So definitely, you should always zoom in. Don't take just these front pictures. You got to go in, see what's going on, read the condition reports. It, Auctions is really a do your own diligence type of situation. Make sure the bezel looks like this, where there's a lot of grip left. Make sure the pins aren't poking out of the holes. The auction houses are the one places where you don't need to keep asking them for pictures. They're gonna give you really good pictures from the front, but it's up to you to use that information that's being put out there. But great question, Vimal. Great question.
It looks like text thinks that Sotheby's usually has great quality, but it never hurts to do your own diligence and take a look at the photos and make sure, because it doesn't matter, as you said, Sequan, these aren't like these auction houses aren't watchmakers. They are people who sell, beautiful art, which watches are. So it's like they're gonna just give you all the information and you have to discern what's worth it and what's not.
Exactly. I mean, they're merchants at the end of the day, right? So it's like, you know, everybody's trying to sell. So always protect yourself. In a situation where profit can be made with your ignorance, you should work to be
I mean,
non-ignorant
isn't
and
that
educate
all
yourself.
what like auctions are? Not ignorance, but it's just like it's all setting the market and like finding value in places. And unfortunately, sometimes things slip through the cracks. Sometimes
What?
you get a steal, and sometimes like we've found through certain articles that you can get screwed. Like that one Daytona that we found that wasn't exactly the correct Daytona.
Exactly. I think auctions is just a world on itself. It's like an old world thing that's continued to new world, and art really pushes it up. Watches is just a super small part compared to the art department and all the other departments for watches. So
Oh my God! Why did you
yeah,
just?
I don't even know why I put this up
The mall said if I have to pay an extra 26% where I do the heavy lifting, no thanks. Stick to in-person transactions within 30-day
there.
return options.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think you should really only use auctions if one, you're already in the auction ecosystem, maybe you do a lot of business within the auctions and they give you favorable terms or they work really, really well with you. Or if you're looking for something like this, Jacob and Co. 5 time zone. I've never seen this particular variation before. And if you like something super, whatever verb you want to use or adjective you want to use to describe this, you could get this, and the current bid is 2,800. And I guarantee you, some poor soul probably paid $40,000 to $60,000 for this watch. So that's what auctions are for. You can find really, really great steals, or if you're already locked into that ecosystem. But it's not a situation where I'd buy anything common that like Vimal said, you could get a 30-day return window, 7-day return window. If something goes wrong, there's a service warranty. Yeah, there's certain reasons why I wouldn't see.
I just
You
look
buy
at that
options.
watch and like I've never seen buyer's remorse in the form of a watch until I saw this watch.
Yeah, I don't think I could sell this. I don't think if you told me the retail on this was like 80,000 and I was getting a 15% commission, I think my integrity would just stop. Like,
You'd have to shame, like they'd have to have like a super hot model with them, and then you're like shaming them and being like, yeah, like you clearly don't have enough money to buy this watch, right? Like, you know, and I know she lives in Tokyo. You don't need to know when she wakes up, right? You know, like you can only sell this watch through shame and alcohol. Like those combinations, crescendo, you shame and alcohol, wire transfer. That's the only way. The only way.
oh, I look at the dent. Is this a dent? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But look at this. Look at this. Look at that.
Oh my God. Durad said, so there's room in the market for auctions with better due diligence as part of the service. Justify higher commission. I mean, there might be, but the thing is, Duraj, is now you're going to be coming into a space that the mafia already owns. You're going to be competing with Christie's, Phillips, Sotheby's. Their mind share is beyond belief. So, like, I think that there is a way for you to kind of sneak in and run your own auction, but like to get the mind share from the masses that's built by those brands that we just discussed, like nobody's gonna go elsewhere. Like they are already so entrenched in the auction market. Maybe you can tell me otherwise, CQ, but I think it would be very hard to kind of get those collectors to come to a new service.
Yeah, so it's interesting right now, right? Because you got Sotheby's, Christie's, Phillips is on top, but you still have Auctionata. Auctionata's out there, and instead of going for big pieces, they go for volume of lots. So they've been doing a lot that way. You also have Monaco Legends Group, who's out of Monaco, and they've been doing some pretty important auctions, like with big pieces in different markets, right? They're not doing like your traditional New York, Geneva. They might do something in Italy or in unique places like that. So I think there is a space for a really good auction house that can really verify and really give you a trusted sense of what you're getting. I do think people would support it. But like you said, for lack of a better term, there's a mafia situation going on. Look, you have Loop This, right? Loop This is probably the closest you'll get because like the amount of money and resources you need to make something like this and actually penetrate in the market, and again, have these people who are consigning their watches, they're probably also selling art. So like maybe a watch auction house will pop up, but no watch auction house will pop up that will have the strength of the art side as well. And that's where something like Phillips, Box, and Russo is like, they can give you a 360 situation. Sotheby's can help you sell your real estate. So there's so many things that go into it that while I think that service is neat, I think a true Chrono 24 should emerge. A real service, a real platform where people can list watches, have it verified, have it be consumer to consumer, but maybe somebody like a CQ gets involved when it's like almost at the end and just kind of like, verify, make sure everybody's okay with the deal, kind of make sure it's not a scam. Maybe like a 2 or 3% is paid to that service. I think something like that will exist one day and it will do really, really well.
It's kind of crazy that Chrono 24 caught strays when we were talking about building a auction house from scratch. Like maybe
but they do auctions.
You
They do
should have came at
auctions.
eBay, like given they're
No.
more of an auction situation.
So the reason why I never go at eBay is because eBay has never said they only do watches. And when eBay did decide to do watches, they did invest a lot. They got Sol & Co on board to be a verification center. They're not 100% right, but now every watch that uses that program goes to Sol & Co. So they saw the issue and they at least gave you an option and say, hey, it's not the best thing in the world. You're gonna have to add an extra 2 to 3 days on shipping time.
We don't have the
But-
time to talk about this because I can refute so many of those statements that you made. Don't forget that I
Exactly.
worked with that.
But they pretended. At least there's a face there that can make me feel good. With Chrono 24, It's the wild, wild west pretending because they have an escrow program that they're taking care of you. When everybody goes to try to find a dealer and call them, when I can tell you over and over stories about the escrow program not helping out how it's supposed to. So the least they could do, in my opinion, instead of focusing on like this, is improving the product. I'm sorry. I just, like, when I see things like this, it's just like I see the money that's being spent, and it's like, hey man, why don't you just get rid of the ghost listings? That'll improve your revenue as well.
CQ, it's so much
I know.
easier to pay for marketing than it is to actually fix issues. Vimal said they already made 36%. If anything, I'm paying more for these mass-produced watches at auction, and he's right. Like, why would I do that? Just go belly to belly. Text said so many of these auction houses also offer custodial services for art, grant tax incentives to buy them through them, which is what you were saying, CQ. There's so many 360, you can do so
If you're
many
in the
things within them.
ecosystem,
Yeah. Daraj says you can do a lot worse than sell a watch with booze and guilt as drivers. CQ did that. CQ did the booze and guilt for 5 years in the islands. That's all they would do. They get you liquored up. They'd shame you in front of your wife, and they'd be like, "You really not gonna walk out with this right-wing Avenger?"
It works every time. It works every time, by the way.
They
No. So what I do, right? Because let's have a little side thing. So what we do is in my particular, in my boutique right across, we had a Brightland boutique, a Patek boutique, a Mega boutique, a Tiffany boutique, and on top of that, we had this really nice bar that would look over. And this amazing gentleman, his name is Norm. He passed away, R.I.P. Norm. Older gentleman. And what would happen is, a nice gentleman like Mr. Girard or Vimal or somebody would come in, and I see they got a really nice watch on, and we start looking at some Pateks, and like we spend maybe 30 minutes. Like I kind of get them tired. I just toss so much information at them, right? Then I see they're a little overwhelmed. I walk them to Norm. I give Norm a wink. Norm just pulls out the blue label, the whatever they want, and then by the time they get down, like it's just they're ready to take whatever. So that was, it's not a bad way to do things. Of course, they always call and thank me later because the alcohol was just there to lubricate the decision. I was just there in that role, not what I do now, but in that role, I was just there to get your anxiety out of the way, to get your fears out of the way, and just to get you to enjoying what you should be enjoying. You work so hard, you should be enjoying. You shouldn't be worrying about the decision.
It's
That's
funny
what,
that you use the word lubricate to describe what you did to them, because you for sure had to use lubricants. Selling Hublots.
Hey, sir, I did not sell any Hublots, sir. In that time in my life, I had a clean slate. I was Patek, I was JLC, I was Omega, I was Parmigiani Fleurier, but I was not soiled by Hublot until the secondary market. I would have you know. Here's a watch you need a lot of lubricant to buy or sell. I don't know why I keep putting this up there. I need to change it. I'm sorry.
Like they also took away like the dot. Anyways, yeah, that's just not a good watch. Not
Ooh, a lot of coin watches. So there's a great Patek coin watch that went for strong numbers, and here we have a Cartier one that's already at 9,000, and then a Vacheron. I think these will do decently. Oh, what's this? That's a Kardashian watch. Parmigiani is Hublot of old money. No, sir, Vimal, don't do that. Don't do that. Even though at that time, what I was selling Parmigiani for, they were very highly priced on the market. Oh, is this alarm? Beautiful. Brigade just does such cool stuff. 9,500 on the current bid. All right, let's see if there's anything else cool in
DQ
here.
doesn't tell you, but he used to listen to P. Diddy right before he go into any sale. He just had to make sure baby oil was on the mind.
Listen, sometimes you gotta be able to. You put that slip and slide records on. You gotta do what you gotta do, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh man, here's a nice Chopard. Ooh, this is a Turb. Chopard Turb. That doesn't look like a Chopard Turb. It's a LUC. This is not bad at 16,000 current bid. Let's see if there are any Jordans.
Andy said that Brigade is so underrated, and I mean,
It is. It's they're catching up. People are catching on, but it's still like this will go for this. Even have a current bid of 9,500. It's insane. It's insane. Paddocks. Vintage PJ always looks good to me. It is some really cool stuff. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Who
Right
doesn't want a
here.
beautiful bronzo with the corrosion?
Bro, like you can't like if you're not a pirate, why would you want this watch? Like this shit just gives me Jack Sparrow. I don't see it just I hope I don't offend anybody in this chat, but I just don't get the obsession with these bronze. I don't like bronze watches at all, period.
The-
What especially when they look like they got algae on them. Like
Ah, that's the thing. You remember it used to be a thing, like you crack the egg and people sold like this little solution you would put on it that would help it corrode faster.
I was not part of the watch world when you guys were selling Panerai like they were Rolex. And to be honest with you, you should be tried for your crimes. You know, like it's crazy
Listen,
what y'all were
this-
getting away with.
Back when I sold pre-owned, back in the watch you want this was probably like a 40 grand watch with the crud.
There's a
on it.
place in Switzerland that would have you by your balls if
Listen,
they found out
listen.
what you were doing.
But
the
the
Geneva
Italian-
Convention, the same place where they're making the watches, they have a pact. saying that
Florence would save us, okay? Florence would stand up, Italy would stand up and say they did it for us.
you mean
We sold
Stalin's
all
Italy?
the Panerais.
You mean Stalin's Italy?
Listen,
Get out of here, bro.
we did what we needed to do to move those Panerais, and people loved the.
You're
loved
starting to
us
sound
for
like
it.
Stalin for real, bro. We
They
did what we
loved
had
us
to
for
do.
it.
We
They
had to
loved
do
us
it.
for it. But no, this used to be like a crazy watch. This was unobtainium.
I don't
This
get
used to
it.
be the 5711.
No, I
Nobody
know.
did.
I know.
Nobody did.
So to see it going for under, it's low end. Well, I mean, it's still early.
It's still early, but it'll still go low because nobody.
This is the 47 millimeter, right? Like, is it?
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Pack got my back. He concurs.
He paid off Pack on his side, bro. I already see what's
Bro,
going on.
you know I'm
I already
poor,
see.
bro. I ain't got enough money to change Pack's
Nah.
mind, bro. It's a mind meld. Me and him got a mind meld going.
No. It's been like 2 weeks of doing this show, and I see little clicks forming, and I understand. I understand what's going on.
Andy said, "Would it turn Statue of Liberty green?" I think it can get
Yes.
it
Yeah.
can get very green. That is, you're right. At one point, the Statue of Liberty did look a lot more bronze. Imagine what the Statue of Liberty looked like when France first gave it to us. Can we find a photo?
Probably
of that?
amazing. Probably
It
amazing.
probably was so fire. And now we look at this green weird thing. I just think of Ghostbusters when I see it.
Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Yes, but this was a nice, beautiful bronze. If somebody lets it, it will completely turn green. But a lot of people actually push it to get a little bit. I don't know.
Horse patina.
All right, we got a couple Lauren Ferriers. Ooh, this one. Oh, for Only Watch. Lauren Ferrier.
I like Daniel Roth, man. Why you just skipped over Daniel Roth and went straight to Lauren Ferrier?
Well, no, I like Lauren Ferrier as well. I just wanted to see why this one. I mean, I like Daniel Roth as well. I just wanted to see why this was going, but it's only watch stainless steel tourbillon, 65,000 current bid. Let's go to the Daniel Roth. I
Oh,
like this
Bezos
too.
24 has something for us. He said, "I hated bronze until I hear this story. A guy in France wore a bronze watch when we were talking. He said he still feels the smell of his late girlfriend on his wrist." Kind of hit hard. I don't know what that says about his late girlfriend.
I just
Like, was her pH balance?
don't.
Should she have been drinking more alkaline? Okay.
I will say that copper will. There's a reason they use titanium backs on copper watches because it does, things can.
Yo, I didn't expect Bezos 24 to come.
Bezos 24, you're a forever member. Please, you have to keep coming back.
You do this on a daily basis, so please stop.
You're now a resident watchmaker. You've been drafted, bro. Send us an email. We got T-shirts coming. Look at this beautiful JLC perpetual counter rendezvous for the ladies. Actually getting some good action there. 22,000. I don't like the color of that date wheel. What's going on? See, this is why you gotta look closer. because like that date wheel there looks funky, and also from Saturday to Wednesday, something happened there. That hand was a little bit too close or something. So this is definitely something that I would not bid on. Just it looks great, but this will be very, very annoying. It also feels like water damage. I don't know why, but that makes me feel like water was involved on that disc. And this is why you gotta zoom in. You gotta really inspect what you're looking for. What's your oil guy female? Some really good brigades sprinkled in, some perpetual calendars, some tourbillons. Ooh, a nice Cartier I've never seen before.
Was there ever a bronze minute repeater?
I don't.
I'm thinking the sound isn't gonna sound that good in a bronze
Yeah,
minute repeater.
I was gonna say that. I don't
For
think the
them all,
sound.
it probably wasn't, sadly.
A lot of oldies in this. Ooh, 5040. These are nice.
Was
38,000.
it gondola or no?
No,
What
I
is
think this
that?
is just to no shape. I think
Okay.
it's just a to no shape perpetual calendar.
Gondolas don't get much love.
No, some of them do, but not enough. Not as much love as it should for like the more exclusive collection.
Rich said steel is good for minute repeaters. Yeah, I agree. Agreed. I don't think bronze though. Bronze probably just doesn't sound as.
Look at this. This is a platinum JLC master compressor memo box. See, things like these you only see at auction, man. Like, I get that just for the conversation's sake.
Who's asking you about this watch? They're gonna just think it's
Well,
stainless steel.
I'm telling people, Jay. I'm like, have you seen my platinum JLC memo box? Come on, bro. And you know what? Me and Tim Massa would have 2 hours talking about this.
Oh, you're right. You're damn right about that.
Oh man, people are stealing the Harry Winston, some Panerai. Ooh, I think this is the Minerva movement one. This will do good. This the 520. I'm pretty sure. Yep, look at that movement.
I'm not a big fan of
Beautiful.
Panerais with pushers. Like, I just want the crown guard.
Yeah, the pushers you gotta love the chrono look. You gotta love the chrono look.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I'm not a chrono fan, so it's par for the course.
We got some stamped. What's this? Wyatt USI is out of business. Oh, that's a fun logo. I don't know what it's for, but nice color.
I
I was a
just I,
logo collector.
I'm not a big fan of like these date just with prints on the dial, and it's like, oh well, this should be something. Even though it's selling for like next to nothing, so I guess it's going for the market value. So it's just like, what is that? You know that it's just a date just with a weird print.
Oh, they got the iced out Hublots out here. Say
I,
what you want, but I'd rock the rune.
Sometimes I wish you could see like the other watches the person put in with a lot. Like what good watches does this person have that he got to get away with submitting this?
Yeah. Okay, you know he pushed somebody to be like, come on, man, it'll sell.
You can't have my, FP Journe if you don't take this Hublot Big Bang all pave. Even I don't even think they have a Journe in this auction, do they?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm like, I want to wrap up the show, but I was like, maybe you have like one like
I don't think you're gonna
sexy
find
watch to
that.
talk about.
TXT said Wyatt was founded in 1913 by William J. Wyatt in Dallas, Texas, and grew to an important manufacturer of steel culverts, cisterns, and tanks in the state. Hey, Google, Google, Google.
Yeah, thank you, TXT. We have some of the most educated viewers around, Jay.
Don't be like me and use ChatGPT and make a full video and then not double check the information. No. Sometimes Google and ChatGPT be lying. So make sure you double check. Not saying that you're lying, text.
Oh, see now, you got my Google speaker coming on because you said it was.
Yo,
This is an
Alexa
interesting
don't
one.
like that shit, bro. Don't talk about Google. Don't talk about Google in front of me. This
I would've-
this auction is boring, Sequan.
Yeah, and this is like I was trying to find something.
Yeah. We're losing watchers by the second.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I think we should end with a nice big splash, but this is not it.
Oh, come on. There's nothing here. I want to thank all of you guys so much for tuning in. By the way, you are the best. Tomorrow for Friday, don't know exactly what we're going to talk about. Richard shot me a text with a really interesting topic, so maybe we do that, but maybe
All right.
I kind of want to flesh that out a little bit more before we do it. But yeah, no Jorns. We got some. I'd buy this, air races, aerospace.
Did they even have an AP?
I don't know. Wow, this is it. Wow.
Oh, that's the most boring auction out of all the auctions. And auctions are boring
Yeah.
to me.
Exactly. Just this is the only Jordan.
Which one? What?
These.
Is that Francois and Pierre?
Yeah. Oh no, it's France. I think it's Francois Young, Francois Old.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess. Hublot Unico, 128 movement. Oh, sorry, Jesus. Bezel 24 says Hublot Unico 1280 movement is very impressive though. It's in house.
I love Bezos 24. He's a real guy. Bezos 24, please stick around, bro. You're the guy. We need somebody to talk some sense into the
Text
people.
said the Zenith was sick. Which Zenith did he see a Zenith? I didn't see.
Let me just pull up all the Zeniths because I think we.
Oh, my eye's gonna glaze over when you pull up the Zenith.
Maybe not.
Oh, maybe he was talking about the blue.
Oh, I think he's
The blue
talking about
crab.
the Tipo CP2.
Nah, not the worst.
No, I'd rock this. The condition looks really good too.
What year is this from? This is definitely an older model. You
I
can tell
think
from the
70s.
indices. The indices.
65.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's valid. It's valid.
Yeah, I mean for 65, look at the condition.
Nah,
Bezel's nice.
I even like the patina on the plot of the 12. What is that
Curly.
called? Is it just an arrow? What would you call that?
I forget. Is it a bezel chevron? I want to say loon pip because the Rolex
That's why
has a
I
little.
wanted to say a loon
the
pip,
dot,
but it's
but it's
not.
not. It's not a loon pip. The loon pip is if it's a Rolex. The loon dot.
But I like this. Good call out, TXT. Good. Is it text? Is it TXT? Is it TXT like the file? Interesting name.
That'd be dot txt.
Well, I don't think he could put .txt as a name. That's why he probably just did TXT. Thomas Burnett said those Corelli. Oh God, I cannot talk.
Ah,
today.
see that's what I had a feeling.
Those Corellis were made for the Italian Air Force. Ooh. Derod says Lot 405. I'm intrigued. Look up Lot 405.
All right, so it seems like the last page had things people liked. Oh yeah, Diraj has very good taste when he likes like vintage paddocks and nice stuff. So this is a really nice
See, I was
rectangular
right,
paddock.
CQ. Text said it was like the file. This is a nice paddock, though.
Brigade numerals. Condition seems to look
Damn,
good.
they just took the 6 out. They was just like, no 6. You get
Yeah.
subbed out.
See, yeah, back then they don't do that half 6 bullshit. They just kind of, it's theirs is not. They don't do that half type stuff. This
Is
a
it
pretty
me,
cool
or does the
piece.
10 look a little close to the 9? No, the 2 and the 3 are very
I mean,
similar.
it's a no, yeah, because they had that the 3 digits on each side. They had that tight spacing.
Yeah.
So that big window is.
Yeah.
They were just doing things the right way back then. You know what I mean? 1942, this was produced. So this is really
What?
cool.
Okay, I was about to say, what's going on with that corner? But if it's
No,
a
1942. No.
if it's an 80-year-old watch, you can have a little gunk in the corner. I can't. You get it. You get it.
Condition looks really good on this one too.
Am I tripping, or does the 2 on the 12 look like it might have been replaced though? I'm tripping, right?
Yeah, I think
The 2 on the 12 was replaced.
either it was replaced or it
Something.
didn't
It's not the original, bro.
corrode
That's-
the same way. Because you'll see the tip of the 7.
What do you mean it didn't
all
corrode
the
the
way.
same way, bro?
I don't know. It's from 1942, man.
The 1 and the 2 is right next to each other. How would they have not corroded
Oh,
the
but
same
also
way?
the 2 is not the same style.
Yeah, so it's a replacement. So that already
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
But in the period specific.
Oh man. All right, guys, you have been amazing. We've been on for our 50 minutes. Tomorrow, we are back with a Friday freestyle episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the chat. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have an idea for a topic, please, am I still there? Please leave it in the comments, and we will do it on the next episode. We're doing episodes every day, so your topics will for sure be used. And remember, if you need truly independent timepiece advice, check out secretthewatchguy.com. You can see all my services there. For I don't know, $10,000, you'll be able to bring Jay out of retirement. If you want to, we'll put a big bonus out there if you want to get his advice. And he's a sharpshooter, so he'll keep it tight. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are amazing. Like, comment, subscribe, upvote. Jay, talk to the people.
Thank you, Rich Buddy. I bought watches for 10 years with CQ, and we would be shamed if we couldn't figure out when things were like that. So we were taught to look for the imperfections so that we didn't get reprimanded in front of groups of people. But it's always a pleasure to talk with you guys, and I love that we got to like 35 people watching us.
You guys are amazing.
Who would have thought? Tomorrow's Friday, man. We made it through another week.
Yes, sir. We did it. We did it, guys. All right, everybody have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.